Alright, what is going on, guys? It is boy Prime Snow back at another video, and in this video I'm doing my One Piece manga chapter 1023 review. Chapter 1023, Spitting Image. This chapter, wonderful chapter. So far these chapters have been bangers, and yet again, it's exciting to see what's been going on in Wano, the Wano arc. Probably, definitely my top three favorite arcs. I still have it at number two, but it's really close to being my number one arc. Cause my number one arc is Marineford. I love it. You already know. But anyway, let's get into the cover story. So the cover story shows Vivi singing with sparrows, while Karu looks on with jealousy. That's dope. We still actually need to know what's going on with Vivi. We heard that she disappeared after the reverie. Uh, So yeah, we'll get into that when we learn more about the reverie stuff. But anyway, let's get into the chapter. So as we know, last time Zoro he got back up to ready to fight again with the medicine from Zo that will make him basically be able to fight again. But at any point in time, the effect will double on his body, which is pretty bad. But anyway, we saw that Zoro and Sanji they both teaming up against King and Queen, the wings of the Pirate King, teamed up and took them down. Well, they didn't take them down, but they attacked them, and uh we see them standing over them, and we see the Beast Pirates, worried for King and Queen, and we see Chopper. He's shocked that the medicine really did heal Zoro, and Miyagi is worried that he's more worried about what happens later when the effect doubles. But anyway, we see King and Queen. They're on the ground. King is unfazed. He's just on the ground. So is Queen. They're just on the ground, laying down, completely all right. You just let it happen. But anyway, so we see one of the Beast Pirates aim a gun at Zoro, and we see the reticle over Zoro's head, and we see Kawamatsu slice him down like a goat, kind of like how Nekomamushi was to Sanji. Kind of, there's a parallel there. We see Bossman Hyogoro. Uh, yeah, we see Bossman Hyogoro telling the samurai to not indulge in the battle because of Sanji and Zoro's faces. They don't like to be interrupted, which makes a lot of sense because Zoro and Sanji, when they're fighting, they don't like to be interrupted and they like to do their thing. So just letting them do that, which is a good decision. But we see Marco. He's like, as we know, Marco was not in position to battle last time we saw him, but like he's just there, like kind of woozy, I guess. And he's looking at King, and something that I don't think I brought up last review was him talking about the race of King, about a race that existed many years ago that he heard of, that lived atop the Red Line, probably during or before the time of the Void Century, and the world government or the Celestial Dragons took over and made him Marijua. But yeah. Anyway, we see him have a flashback up with Whitebeard, and and it says, "What do you mean atop the red line is Marijua?" And Whitebeard says in the flashback, "I talking long before that. From what I hear, there used to be a land of gods up there." So that could be referring to Queen's race, some sort of god, because he looks like a devil. Not gonna lie, but he has possess powers over fire. So that's gonna be interesting. I feel like it'll play a big role in the Void Century, since they lived atop the Red Line many years ago, before the Celestial Dragons, and so we see Izo, and he takes a blow, and he's telling Marco to wake up basically because he's in the battle, and we see Marco asks Izo if he believes in gods, and Izo tells Marco, when did you turn into Pops when he's drunk? So apparently when Whitebeard is drunk, he talks about God. Whatever. Probably some foreshadowing there. And okay, so we see King and Queen back up again, and they're telling Zoro and Sanji that they have no chance against them. And it says drought, plague, and wildfire were the three calamities that protect Kaido. So I want to pay attention to the three words: drought, plague, and wildfire. As we know, wildfire King possesses fire. Queen, plague, because of the virus that he spread about Wano, and drought has to be Jack, because those are the three calamities of Kaido. So like I'm assuming they have like their own little role, I should say, or like little ability that they offer to the table in battle. So that's good. And it says, and we're called the lead performers because nobody gets the better of us, whatever they say. But Sanji mentions to Zoro that ever since he put this raid suit on for the second time, his body feels a little off, kind of weird. I don't know why that is. We don't know yet. And you know, Zoro is Sanji's rivalry. Zoro's telling him, "Don't back me down. You know, don't hold me back." And Sanji reminds him, "I didn't say it felt bad. It just feels weird." So King is going in for the attack, and Zoro blocks it, saving Sanji. So Zoro tells Sanji that he owes him one, which is good. And Queen is gonna attack Zoro, and then Sanji defends him. Now they're even. So as we know, Queen was talking about Germa 66 and Sanji's family, and he sees his Diable Jambo. He asks him if he's a part machine as well, for because of his Diable Jambo, because his leg turns on fire, and he reminds him that he's a human. He's just him, and so we see Queen talk about ask if a human burns like that. I know you ain't a Lunarian. It's in bold also in the chapter, so I don't know what that means. Could be another race of human, some sort. I don't know, but it's pretty interesting. So also yeah, Sanji, he's doing his thing. He's beating Queen, and he tells him, "Let me show you the power of a cyborg. Even Vegapunk can't create, kid." All right, so that's dope. And so Zoro and King, they're going at it. Zoro goes in. King with one sword, he knocks away his two swords, and he punches Zoro in the mouth. But he's still holding his samurai sword. No, he punches him on the blade of the sword, but Zoro's still holding onto it because Zoro only has the sword in his mouth. And we see, okay, so Zoro, he gets his two swords back, and he's holding Enma right there, and he tells him to do as he like, and if he has to, he'll tear out his throat with his teeth to defeat King, as long as it ensures the victory of the battle. So sounds very Zoro like. So yeah, and we see Kawamatsu and Hyogoro in the sidelines talking about when he already told Kawamatsu to give Zoro Enma, and there was a reason why he couldn't bring himself to stop her from doing it, and so they talk about Zoro's style, and it was similar to a daimyo called Shimotsuki Oshimaru, daimyo of Ringo in his youth. So a previous daimyo of Wano. So yeah, and it also says that Lord Oshimaru was a descendant of Shimotsuki Ryuma, the god of the blade, the sword god, and yeah. So Kawamatsu says that he sees that Ryuma's style and the daimyo style in Zoro and the way he fights. And especially, it says especially when you consider that Ryuma was also a one-eyed swordsman. And actually, this thing I just picked up right now as I'm going through the chapter reviewing it that I didn't see in my original read-through. There's a little panel to the side of a swordsman with one eye. It looks like Ryuma when he was younger. He looks a lot like Zoro. A lot like Zoro. He has the same hair, kind of the same face, with the cut on the side. So that's very good. This is a very big Zoro chapter for him. So that's very good. And it talks about Ryuma and the similarity because there's been a lot of speculation of obviously across the years about Zoro's connection to Ryuma and how they're similar. But we cut to the treasure room on the second floor. We see Jack and Nekomamushi talking, and Jack tells him that he forgives the country of Zoe for going into ruin to uphold the lie about Rizzo. The Rizzo is here moment when they were hiding Rizzo, and they would not give him up no matter what. So, and Nekomamushi, I mean Inuarashi tells Jack about if they had handed Raizo over, they would die, and they would be so ashamed. Which makes a lot of sense because the connection between Zou and Wano is very close, very tight with the Kozuki clan and everything. Also, Inuarashi and Nekomamushi being part of Odin's Akazaya 9, or the retainers, Odin's retainers. But yeah, so we see Nekomamushi grab Jack by the trunk, and he flings him over to the side, and he sends him flying through. And Inuarashi tells him, "Sorry, I'm mixing it up." Inuarashi tells him, "With another day with every day that passes by, it was close to this day of reckoning. So they're gonna win Onigashima, and this is gonna be the end of the 20-year battle for Wano, for the liberation of Wano." And we cut to we see a flashback of what happened in Zou, and Inuarashi telling him that he doesn't know where Raizo is, screaming his lungs out. He swears he doesn't know, and he says, "If such a man is here, I will cut my belly." And that also goes to remind us of the dedication that they had to not give up Raizo. So, and he says, "For 20 years, I asked myself, are you still a samurai of Lord Odin?" And we see Inuarashi turn into his Sulong form with the full moon out, and he looks really dope. He looks like kind of like carrots, but like he's obviously bigger. He has like these little mustache little things. He has like flame fur on the front, on his chest, and on his back, kind of like a Super Saiyan 3 from Dragon Ball. And it looks like he has little horns on the top of his head, and he looks a lot more menacing than in his dog form. But then we cut to the front entrance of the Skull Dome. We see Perispero knocked out with we see Perispero knocked out, and we see Wanda and Carrot. That they notice Nekomamushi is there, and it's a full moon tonight, so obviously we saw Inuarashi go into Sulong, but now we see Nekomamushi go into Sulong as well. So actually, Perispero, he's not knocked out. He's on the ground. He's still conscious though. I don't know why I said that, but Nekomamushi goes into Sulong form. It looks like he's gonna beat up Perispero, kill him probably for what happened to Pedro. Honestly, I don't see Perispero making it out. I think he's done here. I think he's dead. But after that, we go to the castle second floor. Sorry, there's a lot going on in this chapter. I'm just trying to go through it as much as I can, so without taking too long. But we see Fukurokuju and Raizo fighting over again, and obviously we see Fukurokuju. He's mocking the Kazai 9 for following a kid in Lord Momonosuke and staying loyal to Odin 20 years after his death. Obviously, Raizo's not having that, so that's pretty much what happened. It's just little dialogue. He calls them ghosts, like in the last time, and that's what it is. Raizo also brings up the fact that Odin basically raised them, gave them a chance when no one else did. When they were nothing, they were no one. So then we consider Tokage port of Udon, and we see Law's crew with guns right there, just pointing them at, and they mention it's Kaido. Kaido's right in front of them. So, but we see a dragon right in front of Luffy, and they're basically telling Luffy to get away from him. And we cut to a flashback of when Luffy and Momonosuke met in Punk Hazard after he ate the devil fruit, and Luffy says, "Is that you, Momo?" And the dragon says, "Indeed." So we see Momonosuke as a dragon. He's a big dragon form. So Shinobu did indeed do the spell or use her devil fruit power to age him up, and it says by Lord Momonosuke's request, he is now aged 28. So he did age 20 years. He was 8 years old previous to this, and he's 28 years old now. He's a full-on adult, and we see Shinobu crying. Luffy asks her why, and she says, "You look just like my lord." So I guess that means he looks exactly like Odin. Well, not exactly, but he looks like Odin. And we see a little silhouette to like his left side, and if you see he's really tall. He has strong arms, and I want to see the full body of Momonosuke, and we see Luffy tell Momonosuke, "Come on, Momo, let's take back Wano." He goes, "Right." So there it is. Momonosuke's an adult. It's already he could have not been an adult even if he requested it. Shinobu could have denied it, uh, him to become an adult at that age during that time, but he did it. He's not gonna be able to go back to being a kid again, and unless because Jewelry Bonnie, I don't know if she's kind of like doing her Kuma thing because last time we saw her, she was at the Reverie. She was pretending to be, or maybe she is the queen of I forgot the kingdom, but maybe she could turn them back if they ever link up or meet up at any time. But for as of right now, in Wano, there's no way that we know of, at least, for Momonosuke to go back into an 8-year-old child. He's an adult. I wonder if he can fight. He has his abilities like hockey, because we know that he's physically stronger. It shows it, but we need to know if he has the fighting power. Because as an 8-year-old, he couldn't fight for anything. He couldn't. He was basically hopeless, and he could only turn into a dragon whenever he was scared. And also, something I want to point out is that the Law's crew mentioned that he looks like Kaido. I wonder if he's still his pink form, his pink dragon form, or maybe that was because Law's crew hasn't seen Kaido in his dragon form yet. I don't know, but very good chapter. To be continued. We're not going on break. We're getting a new chapter next week. 1024. Hope you guys enjoy. I'll be reviewing that when it comes out. So hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and until then, see you in the next one. Peace.